and in this video guys, we're going to continue working and discussing file handling in C programming. So from the previous tutorial, so actually this is part 2 of the file handling video tutorial, and in the previous tutorial we discussed the basics of file handling and also discussed the 5 major operations that can be performed on a file. So for example, the creation as the first operation, and then opening, reading, writing, and closing a file. And also we discussed the steps for processing a file. So basically, if you want to handle files inside your C program, you need to declare a file pointer variable as the first step, and then the second step will be opening a file using the fopen function, and then right after that one, process the file. So for example, you want to count the number of lines inside of that particular file, or you want to add something to that file, you can do that. So that's the processes or processing of the file, and then of course closing the file using the fclose function. And from the previous tutorial also, we briefly discussed the different functions that we could use when we are handling files in C. So for example, the getC, the putC, getW, and putW, and the other functions. So in this video guys, I'm just going to show you how you can read the content of a file and display it in your simple program. So we're just going to use this main function right here. So I have here the main.c file, or main.ca file, and then we're just gonna use this main function right here just to get the contents of our file. So as you can probably remember from the previous tutorial, we already created the file inside our file system, and let me show you that. Okay, so I have here the file and then file name.txt, and it contains the text hello world, as you can see here. So this is written from our C program, and in this video we're going to read this by using also our C program. So in order for us to, again, if we want to handle files in our C, the first step is to declare a pointer variable. So the pointer variable goes like this. So we need to call on this file class, and then add the semicolon, I mean the asterisk or star symbol, as you can see here, and then of course the name of your variable. So I'm just gonna name it file name, and then semicolon at the end. So this is our pointer variable. As I've said, this is the first step for handling files in C. We have to declare a pointer variable. And then the next step, since we're getting the content of a file, I just want to assign the content of a file into a single variable. So for example, I'm just going to declare here another variable, char or char ch, or the name of the variable is ch, and then I'm just going to assume the length 100. There you go, and then semicolon. So basically, this particular variable will hold the contents of our file. Okay. Next line will be using the file name variable right here, which is our pointer variable. And then the second step in the process is, of course, open the file by using fopen function. We already used this function from the previous video. So in here, we're just going to specify the name of the file, which is file name.txt, as you can see here. So that will be file name.txt, and then we're gonna use the R symbol. Okay, that's basically reading the file name, or I mean the file coming from our file system. And then the next step is, of course, if we want to print the contents of our file. So we're just going to use the printf function right here, and then specify the format specifier %s, because we're going to display character or strings of character here coming from our file, and then comma, and then we discussed the function in the previous tutorial, fgets. Okay, so basically this function read string of characters from a file, and this particular function takes a few parameters. So for example, we're just gonna specify the parameters here. So for example, the variable ch, that's the variable that will hold the contents of our file. And then, so for example, 50, this is the count of characters that we're going to allow to be saved in our char ch variable. And then, of course, the file name. Okay. And as always, if you are working with file, since we're opening the file here, we need to use also the closing function, which is fclose right here. And then we're going to specify the file name right here. Okay. So for example, the file name, and that's about it. And we can run our program right now. Let's just save this and build and run. So it's going to output hello world. So for example, just to show you a basic example, let's just fill out our file. Hello world. This is a string from a file. So we're just going to test this. So save, and let's run again our program. Okay, so as you can see here, hello world, comma, and then this is a string coming from a file, as you can see here. So basically, we successfully read or get the contents of our file name.txt file. Okay, so now there are other operations that you may want to do in your file. So for example, you want to like count the number of lines. That's possible. Again, this particular symbol right here is like opening a file in a read mode. Okay, so R, that's basically what we use here. So as I've said, there are also other functions that we could use when trying to handle files in our C program. And of course, fgets is one of them. But there are also, so for example, we have getC. So this reads a character from a file. Okay. We also have getW. So this will be for reading an integer. And we also have fgets. That's what we used here. So fgets reads string of characters from a file. Okay, and then of course there are other functions that you could use to write. This is writing into the file. So we have put W. So basically, put C writes a character a file, and then put W write an integer to a file, and then we have fprintf for writing, and we also have fputs, okay, to write string of characters into a certain file. So I hope you understand the basics of handling files in C. And of course, as always, if you have questions, you can ask questions in the comment section below, and we will try to answer your queries. And thank you again for watching, guys, and see you in the next video.